Imagine booking a hotel room in Los Angeles. You take a shower, you brush your teeth, you fill a glass of water from the tap. Then one morning, the water tastes strange. It's darker than usual and has a foul smell. Days later, the hotel staff checks the rooftop water tanks. Inside, they found a body. And that body belonged to Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student whose last living moments were caught on camera in one of the most disturbing videos on the internet. This is the terrifying real-life mystery of Elisa Lam and the haunted hotel where she met her end. Elisa Lam was not a celebrity. She wasn't famous. She was just like you and me. Born in Vancouver, Canada, Elisa was a bright, witty, and curious young woman. She loved writing online, sharing her thoughts, her struggles, and her dreams with the world through her Tumblr blog. But behind her cheerful personality, Elisa battled bipolar disorder and depression. Some days she felt unstoppable, other days she could barely get out of bed. By January 2013, Elisa decided she needed a break from her routine. She wanted an adventure, so she packed her bags and set off on a solo trip to the United States, traveling by train and bus through California. She called her parents every single day to reassure them she was safe. On January 28th, Elisa arrived in Los Angeles and checked into a place that would later be known as the Hotel of Death, the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel wasn't just any hotel. When it opened in 1927, it was supposed to be luxurious. But as the years passed, the neighborhood around it decayed. Drugs, crime, and poverty spread through downtown Los Angeles. And the Cecil Hotel became a magnet for tragedy. Over the decades, it earned a reputation as one of the darkest places in America. There were countless suicides, murders, overdoses. Some guests jumped from windows to their deaths. Others were found dead inside their rooms. Even more chilling, the hotel housed some of the most notorious killers in history. Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, lived there in the 1980s while he went out at night and murdered innocent people. Another serial killer, Jack Unterweger, also stayed there while committing crimes. By the time Elisa arrived, the Cecil wasn't a tourist destination. It was a decaying building filled with transients, addicts, and lost souls. A place that seemed cursed. On January 31st, just 3 days after checking in, Elisa stopped calling her parents. That was unusual. Her parents immediately grew worried and called the Los Angeles police. The hotel staff reported they last saw Elisa acting strangely. She had been moved from a shared hostel-style room to a private one after roommates complained about her behavior. But no one knew where she went after that. Then investigators found the elevator footage. This video would become one of the most haunting viral clips of all time. In the grainy black and white security recording, Elisa enters the hotel elevator. She presses multiple buttons at once. She steps in and out of the elevator nervously, peeking into the hallway as if someone is following her. At one point, she hides in the corner. Then she steps out again, waving her hands in bizarre, almost unnatural motions, as if she's talking to someone invisible or trying to push away an unseen force. The elevator doors stay open unusually long, as if the building itself was holding her there. Then suddenly, she walks out. The doors finally close. Elisa Lam was never seen alive again. SSA days passed. Weeks passed. Guests at the Cecil began complaining about the water. It was coming out black. It had a strange taste, and the pressure was low. On February 19, 2013, nearly 3 weeks after Elisa vanished, a maintenance worker climbed to the hotel's rooftop to inspect the water tanks. What he found would make global headlines. Inside one of the massive tanks, floating lifelessly, was the body of Elisa Lam. For nearly 3 weeks, every single guest in the hotel had been drinking, bathing, and brushing their teeth with contaminated water. The hotel became a crime scene. The world was horrified and the mystery only deepened. The police ruled Elisa's death as an accidental drowning. They claimed her bipolar disorder may have caused erratic behavior. The toxicology report found no drugs or alcohol in her system, no signs of assault, No evidence of foul play. But the question remained, how did she get into that water tank? To reach the rooftop, she would have had to pass locked doors and alarms. The tanks themselves were heavy, sealed, and difficult to climb into. Many insisted there was no way she did it alone. Some believed Elisa was murdered and her body was placed there. Others whispered about something more supernatural, that the hotel's dark past and energy had consumed her. Theories spread like wildfire online. Some thought Elisa was trying to escape an attacker in the elevator. Others believed she was having a mental health episode. Conspiracy theorists pointed out a disturbing coincidence around the same time. There was a tuberculosis outbreak near the hotel, and the test used for it was bizarrely called the Elisa test. The internet went wild with speculation, ghost stories, murder theories, even occult connections. But in the end, none of these theories were ever proven. The truth remains uncertain. To this day, the mystery of Elisa Lam haunts the world. Was it a tragic accident, a criminal cover-up, or something darker tied to the cursed history of the Cecil Hotel? One thing is certain. Sometimes the scariest horror stories aren't found in movies, they happen in real life. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, comment, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries. Because the next story might be even scarier.